Should golfers be fasting? It's a common question I receive from people that have read my book, Hole-in-One Nutrition, because I talk a lot about breaking the fast first thing in the morning to stabilize blood sugar with a PFF breakfast. That stands for protein, fats, and fiber. IF, if you don't know, is a 16-8 fasting and then refeed protocol. There's a number of other ones, but that's probably the most common one. And a lot of people read my book and they say, well, you don't talk about fasting, and people are recommending fasting for all these different athletes, and why not for a golfer? And I think of IF as a tool. So a tool is used for an appropriate situation and for the particular person at hand. And with a golfer, there's a lot of things to consider, but the main thing is scheduling. So if we look at just the scheduling of a typical intermittent fasting day, you can see this timeline. So it starts from 8 a.m. and it ends at 8 p.m. So normally a person would stop their last meal at 8 p.m. and then they're going to go all the way through. They may wake up at 7 or 8 a.m. and they're going to fast all the way through the morning, and then they're going to end their fast at 12 p.m. That would be 16 hours of fasting, and then they would eat from 12 all the way to 8 and then repeat the process. Now that's great if you're a player that plays 8 o'clock every single morning. So if you take, for example, someone who maybe tees off at 8 a.m., well, they're going to break their fast right around 12 p.m. right here. And so that sort of works out on a daily basis. But if you take, for example, a PGA player and they're going to play in a tournament, that doesn't always happen. So, for example, a lot of them play Thursday through Sunday, and they often play Wednesday as well. They play a Pro-Am. So let's say Wednesday morning, they do have that tee time. They tee off at 8 a.m. Well, then it works with their 16-8 intermittent fasting. But as anybody knows, the tee time always changes. So sometimes they might be teeing off at 10 a.m. and then they're going to go all the way through till probably around, let's say, 2 p.m. and that's when they're going to eat. So you may argue and say, well, that's just an extra 2 hours. Well, I've seen the extra 2 hours be a detriment to a player because their blood sugar is dropping more than usual, and they get hungry, they get anxious, their strength level goes down. Now, to make it even worse, if you take, for example, a player that now, instead of teeing off at 10 a.m., they're going to tee off right here at, let's say, 1 p.m. So right here, they're going to tee off at 1 p.m. So again, if they played in 4 hours, or maybe even 5 hours, let's say it's a worst case scenario, and they finish at 6 p.m., and then that's when they're going to be eating their first meal. So now their refeed window is 2 hours if they want to stick to the IF plan. So as you can see, there's major problems with that because, first of all, during the round, they're fasting for an additional 6 hours. So now the fasting period is 22 hours, which could be disastrous. They might, strength level goes down, ball speed goes down, they get anxious. All they're thinking about is what they can eat once they're done playing the round. And then also the other problem is that because they haven't eaten all day, they're probably just going to eat everything in sight, and they're going to try to shove in, let's say, 2,400 calories in 2 hours. So as you can see from a digestive perspective, planning, it just doesn't work. So this is the main reason why I do not recommend intermittent fasting for a golfer. Until next time, eat well to feel well.